The sights of the world might be fixed upon Mars, where a few weeks ago the Ingenuity helicopter took flight and the Perseverance rover made oxygen. In the former years, we have seen a lot of advancement in the arena of space exploration, but farther, much farther. Voyager 1, one of the senior space probes and the most distant human-made object from Earth, is still doing science. Many of you might have a query. What is the Voyager 1 spacecraft doing now? Is it in still good health, or maybe looking for its retirement? Well, do you want to know more about it? Stay tuned till the end of the video. What's up guys, hello and welcome back to the channel. We are back with a new video, and this time we have brought Voyager spacecraft's journey and its current whereabouts for you. So without further delays, let's go. Voyager 1 is the first spacecraft to achieve interstellar space. It was initially launched along with Voyager 2 in 1977 to scrutinize the outer planets in our solar system. Voyager 1 almost didn't get off the ground at its launch, as its rocket came within 3.5 seconds of running out of fuel on September 5th, 1977. But somehow it did, and it has continued being functional long past expectations and continues to send information about its journeys back to Earth. It has continued functional long past expectations and continues to send information about its journeys back to Earth. Voyager 1 left Earth in 1977 and bridged the threshold of our sun's magnetic influence, the heliopause, in 2012. It's now traveling in the immensity of interstellar space, the space between the stars, and is, at present, the most solitary human-made object from us. The large bulk of NASA's most interesting projects are ones that are fresh and new, like the Perseverance rover and Ingenuity helicopter. As technology progresses, NASA can do more and more fascinating and revolutionary things. But sometimes, decades-old technology can still provide scientists with novel insights, especially when that technology was fired into space with the sole purpose of getting as far away from Earth as it can. NASA's Voyager 1 spacecraft is now over 14.1 billion miles from Earth. But even as it wanders farther and farther from a dimming sun, it's still sending information back to Earth. As scientists recently reported in the Astrophysical Journal, it's moving at a speed of roughly 38,000 miles per hour and not long ago passed through our solar system's boundary with interstellar space. Despite that remarkable distance, the spacecraft is still able to broadcast data back to Earth, and new discoveries are still being made. The spacecraft officially joined interstellar space in August 2012, almost 35 years after its voyage began. The discovery wasn't made official until 2013. However, when scientists had time to review the data sent back from Voyager 1. The probe is well into the fourth decade of its mission, and it hasn't come near our planet since it flew past Saturn in 1980. For decades, Voyager has been flying away at around 11 miles every second. Each year it travels another 3.5 AU, the distance between the Earth and the Sun, away from us. Now it's mailing messages home even as it prepares to leave this solar system behind. Voyager 1 was certainly the second of the twin spacecraft to launch, but it was the first to be raced by Jupiter and Saturn. The images it sent back have been used in school books and newspaper outlets for a generation. Also on board was a special record carrying voices and music from Earth out into the cosmos. NASA originally planned to send 2 spacecraft past Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, and 2 other probes past Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune. Budgetary reasons compelled the agency to scale back its plans, but NASA still got a lot out of the 2 Voyagers it launched. Voyager 2 flew past Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, while Voyager 1 focused on Jupiter and Saturn. Comprehending that the Voyagers would fly out of the solar system, NASA authorized the production of 2 records to be placed on board the spacecraft. Sounds roaming from whale calls to the music of Chuck Berry were placed on board, as well as spoken greetings in 55 languages. The 12-inch gold-plated copper discs also include pictorials demonstrating how to operate it, and the position of the Sun among nearby pulsars in case extraterrestrials were wondering where the spacecraft came from. Although Voyager 1 is drifting in interstellar space, it still feels some leverage from the solar wind, a stream of charged particles from our Sun. This stream from our Sun is no longer the dominant force affecting Voyager 1. However, similar winds from other stars mix in. As Voyager 1 reads its environment, it allows scientists to understand how the interstellar medium and solar wind interact, and how the bubble of the solar system's heliosphere is shaped by external forces. The Voyager 1 has enabled the scientists to learn more and more about the interstellar medium, and they look further for a clue towards extraterrestrial life. In a new paper published in Nature Astronomy, researchers studying the spacecraft's data reveal that Voyager 1 can now hear something in interstellar space, and they think they know what it is. Interstellar space isn't quite as empty as a vacuum, and a team of scientists announced on May 10, 2021 that Voyager 1 has now sent back a message, saying it's perceived as a faint, dreary hum of interstellar gas plasma. Astronomer Stella Koch-Ocker of Cornell University oversaw the study and, in a statement, described Voyager 1's discovery. It's very faint and monotone because it is in a narrow frequency bandwidth. We're detecting the faint, persistent hum of interstellar gas. The study was published on May 10, 2021 in the peer-reviewed journal Nature Astronomy. Voyager 1 has a device called a plasma wave system, which has been detecting large eruptions from the Sun that affect the plasma, or ionized gas, in interstellar space. It's when the eruptions are quiet that there's a background hum. Although sound doesn't pass through the vacuum of space, sound travels through the air like waves, and if there is no air to act as a medium for those waves to pass through, sound doesn't travel. Interstellar space is primarily a vacuum, but gas can still exist out there, even in areas that appear to be completely empty. In the case of Voyager 1, it's been picking up the faint hum of plasma waves in the interstellar medium. The plasma that Voyager 1 is experiencing was produced by our Sun, the researchers say. The solar wind that carries gases for billions of miles is powerful enough to steer the deportation of plasma from our solar system. When the Sun blows its top and a solar storm is produced, the plasma can spike, but even when our star isn't hot and bothered, there's still a steady and even amount of plasma flowing into space. It's an intriguing finding, and one that researchers weren't necessarily expecting. We've never had a chance to evaluate it. Now we know we don't need a fortuitous event related to the Sun to measure interstellar plasma. Shami Chatterjee, co-author of the new paper, said in a statement, "Regardless of what the Sun is doing, Voyager is sending back details. The craft is saying, here's the density I'm swimming through right now, and here it is now, and here it is now, and here it is now." Voyager is quite distant and will be doing this continuously. When Voyager 1 left Earth in 1977, nobody was sure where the heliopause was. According to Bill Kurth, an astrophysicist at the University of Iowa who has been working with Voyager 1 since before it launched, some scientists then even thought the heliopause was as close as 10 or even 5 AU, around the orbits of Jupiter, which Voyager 1 passed in 1979, or Saturn. In reality, the heliopause is around 120 AU away. We know this partly because Voyager 1 bridged the heliopause in August 2012, a whole 3.5 decades after it left Earth. That puts the probe well and truly in interstellar space. Well, we are eager to see where it travels ahead in the future and what new findings are made regarding space and extraterrestrial life forms. That's it from our side. We hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Until then, peace.